What's up, folks? I'm Mitch Smith, and today we're going to be doing Edgar Winter's Freeride. Okay, so this is a real cool little tune, and you probably picked up a lot just by watching that little intro. And my style of teaching is to try to teach you the theory behind a lot of it, the chord structures and that kind of thing. So if I seem to be taking the long way around sometime, just bear with me. Hopefully it's making you a better musician. So we have A, G, D, G, D, A. Okay, and if you can't do the riff, if that's just a little too complicated for you, or if you're just doing this on an acoustic with really high action, or just for whatever reason you'd rather do open strings, you can do that. So A, G, D, now, how does that translate up here, up the neck? And we also have this little, okay? So I'm just hammering it. You can slide it. It might give you a little bit more of a, that gives it a little cool sound. I like that. So I'm using this finger as a capo, barring it and putting second finger, second string, third finger, fourth string. I'm only getting 4 strings. I don't want this fifth string because that gives me an E minor 7. Not what I'm looking for. In fact, if we wanted the fifth string, we'd need the pinky on over. That gives me a G chord. You're like, well, how do you know that's a G chord? Well, I'm making what would be a C with a capo here. Right? C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. Okay? Now, that's actually being slid a whole step up, so a whole step up from G is A. So that's our A chord. A, G, D. Except, again, I'm not playing that fifth string. Okay, now how do I know that's D? I'm just getting the second, third, and fourth string here. And if you look at a D bar chord, those 3 notes are part of it. So it brings me back to A right here. How do I know that's an A chord? I can follow my F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, or I know an A bar chord here. Those are just those 3 notes are part of it as well. Okay? So now, I'm not playing this kind of an A because I can't seem to get it smooth enough. I'm trying to. You hear that? How it's chopped off right there? Between the D and the A. So I don't like that. That's just not quite smooth enough. So what I do instead, I'm already in this 7th position. Just imagine an A power chord right here. I've already barred this, so I know that this note's going to be part of that power chord. And I can put my pinky here as a safe note. And I'm already. So that's much smoother than. So. that's my main riff. Now I'm going to come into the verses. Again, we're in the key of A, and this goes into a little bit more of a bluesy type progression. So you imagine the minor third above A, which is part of your blues. Alright, A. Step and a half above it is C. Another whole step is D. And you see that a lot in blues. Okay, so what they're doing with this one is just B, C, A. Okay. Then that brings us to A. Now that's the open A, but here's the exact same A. I'm going to come a whole step below that, walk it up chromatically. Alright? Ballroom blitz, right? You should recognize that little chromatic walk. Alright? And we're just going to do that, I think it's 4 times in a row. And I guess I should say something about the rhythm of this song. I'm going to keep this slinging water off my hand the whole time, okay? And I'm just picking and choosing when I want to palm mute. And it takes a little practice to get that down. The idea is to get your right hand technique so fluid that you don't really have to think about it as much anymore. So okay, next riff, the chorus. We're going to come all the way down to F sharp, G, A, alright, and then F sharp, G, D, and we're going to call this a D/A. And what that means in modern music, when you have a chord chart and it shows a chord, a slash, then another letter name, what that letter name is that's what the bass plays, okay? So I'm in a D, but I want my bass in A. Okay, that just gives it a little different dimension. Now A is certainly part of a D chord. The bass could play a D and it's not going to sound out of tune or anything like that. But normally the bass player has done that on purpose for flavor or just, you know, some kind of structured walk they might be doing. So we have F sharp, G, A, a little run, F sharp, G, D, F sharp, G, now a true D, and another little run. Alright, so what are these little runs? The first one, we are coming off of this A. Alright, we're here. I'm going to use this ring finger, slide up a whole step. So, so it's kind of like you're beginning. So I'm in this little box right here to 7th and 9th fret. I hammer that 7, or no, actually slide from 7 to 9. Catch the 7 on the next string. Kind of do a little trill on the 9. It's actually a pull off. 9, pull off to 7. Back to 9 on the 5th string. And do a little slide back into my next. And you don't want to like define that, because that's going to make the ear and the listener think that you're at the end of the chorus, which you're not. So eighth notes would be good there, like that last one. Alright, now what happens with that next little run? I'm droning off my open D. Alright, so I'm going to come up here. If here's my D chord, that's my fifth to it. So that's just a little power chord. Alright, so it's my fifth, my minor sixth, my sixth, a minor seventh on that. Okay, just a little chromatic walk, droning on the open D every time. On the third string, 5, 4, 3, 2. And that's palm muted on the D. You kind of want to let the third string ring a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to let that ring. The other guitar is getting the... Now, the rest of that little solo, it kind of rings on out into the next verse. I'm just going to take... I'm on A right there. If you think about the fifth string being your open A, 2 frets, 2 strings, that's your octave. Another way you can find that is, you know your open third string is G, so G sharp A. So if that's my A, then my major scale, that's the first 3 notes of my major scale. And that brings me into that A major chord, which could be taken all the way to that A. Okay, so we have now I'm bending that a whole step to that note. Now I'm just going to walk it on up. Okay, so I just kind of slid into that. Imagining that chord. Then I'm going to do the same thing here, because I'm back at A. I have those 3. Alright. And now I'm not sure what the actual lick is that Edgar Winter and his crew does. That's pretty close up to that point, but at that point what I do then is change into an A blues or an A pentatonic, because it's coming right back into that, which is a real funky bluesy kind of riff. So I want to kind of foreshadow that by doing, instead of doing an A major run, it sounds all, you know, maybe pop or country or something. I want that blues lick. So I'll come into this pentatonic, with my blues right there. Okay, so something like that. So that's what we do, and we're going to kind of, after the second chorus where it goes into that airy kind of synthy kind of thing, we're just going to put a solo there. I'm going to play probably most out of A blues or A pentatonic, a minor pentatonic, because it's over the verse riff. something like that, something kind of improv. So have fun with this, and I hope you actually learned something from this video about putting chords up and down the neck and translating that from these kind of chords down here. Because if you just saw this on a chord sheet, that's what you would see. Let's see, A, G, 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 A. But it's obviously much cooler when you incorporate these triads and chords up the neck. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully that was helpful. I'm Mitch Smith. Like my page, and I'll see you next week.